Parkway constituency, which is commonly known as a dumping place.
Thank you so much once again for staying with us here on Athari Media Support Africa, and we are telling stories that change lives of people here in Uganda. Today we are in KAKUMIRO district at the district headquarters for the Sanitation and Hygiene Week, which is being observed in Uganda in order to improve the lives of people. And the Prime Minister just a few minutes ago paid a visit to our store here at Athari Media Support Group, and it was the Prime Minister was visiting us here at Athari Media Support Africa, and it was a very good moment to see the Right Honourable looking at some of the work we are doing, which is telling the stories that are going to change lives of people within Uganda and beyond borders. And I also saw the Prime Minister inspecting some of these, what I think are electric bikes, but I wouldn't love to assume. I would rather have it come from the horse's mouth. So let's talk about these bikes. Number one, tell us, introduce yourself and tell us the bikes. What is so special about this? What were you telling the Prime Minister?
Thank you very much. My name is Owinyi Hakim, and my e-mobility advocacy and activation manager. What I was telling Prime Minister about electric bicycle is about the advantage of electric bicycles are bringing in sanitation place. Normally when people talk about sanitation, they think water, toilet, washing hands, washing plates and all that. But also forget that air also need to be protected, clean. For us to inhale healthy and live a very healthy life, we need clean air. And electric bikes, they don't meet any emission. The current conventional means of transport are being used to, they meet a lot of emission. And in regard, like with the challenge of climate change, environmental degradation we are facing, these are part of the technology we are coming up with to ensure that we protect our air in a sustainable way. And while you're moving, it's healthy for you to move. So when we talk about sanitation, air also needs to be sanitized. We need to clean it, and by using electric means of transport, you're keeping the air clean. And that's what I was telling her, that while we are using this bicycle, as a Prime Minister, as an administration of our office, if she can consider to have a safe cycling lane on all roads in the country to make cycling safe, so that it can help people to adopt bicycles as a sustainable, zero-emission means of mobility that help us to protect our environmental resources like air.
So Hakim, we have a lot of, we have a bit of a habit of, we just always say, government at Yambe. So we call upon the government to do everything for us. I just want to know how you got inspired to do this, and like what has been the reception, with you coming up with this. Is everybody trying to learn from you, or are you actually getting a pushback? Like, what are you trying to do? Because we're used to asking for help. We just don't do it.
Yeah, awareness creation is very important. We have been creating awareness among the people. When you don't know anything, it's very hard to appreciate it. So part of attending this exhibition, being here at Athari Media Support Africa, it's part of awareness creation. So at the beginning, people are not going to appreciate it, because also people tend to be apprehensive about change. But with being at them, letting them know that, hey, what you are bringing in the market is help you to take good climate action that help to sustain environment. From the government standpoint, of course, we need policy to build roads that are environmentally sustainable, that help people to cycle safe and make cycling safe, especially in congested cities like Kampala or upcoming cities like we are in KAKUMIRO today, the Mubende where we passed by. In other parts of the world, people cycle, anybody cycle, especially when you go to countries like the Netherlands. Even ministers will find them cycling. It's a culture, because people know the importance of protecting environment. So some of these challenges are there, yes, but it's also, when you're informed, it's your responsibility. You take up that responsibility and create more awareness, so that there's positive ripple effect and there's enable people to have massive adoption.
Do you think that people really appreciate, just the way you're explaining it, the need for us to conserve the environment and to protect, the air we breathe, the water we use, and sanitation and hygiene? Do you think people really appreciate it that much, and do they actually understand it?
Yeah, a few, of course, also depend on knowledge access. Yeah, there's a lot. When you're going to communicate behavior change, attitude change, you have to come up in a way that you let people see the challenge. It's not about you telling them air is poor, then what can they do about it? But come up with a message that, okay, the air quality is not good, the water is not good, but this is your responsibility as an individual, this is your responsibility as a family, this is your responsibility as a society collectively, and those steps, you start with baby steps from an individual, then it go collectively, the change start affecting itself. It's not something you can do for a day, because people have been used to their pattern for many years, but if constantly communicate to them, letting them know. And some of this climate impact, we are experiencing it. Recently we have been experiencing heat. That can be a starting point to start a conversation, and people can relate how climate impact is impacting them and what action they can do to mitigate those impacts.
Okay, and so I'm sure you've met a bit of challenges trying to, do your bit when it comes to, contributing to saving the environment and to keep citizens safe. So what more do you think we can do as a country to be able to at least reduce the kind of pollution?
As a country, we need to come up with policy that ensure that electric bicycles, electric vehicles, electric motorbike, they can easily be affordable, because that enable people to have a financial freedom to afford them and use them, and to try to cut down the number of vehicles that use fossil fuel. For electric bicycle, that can easily be adopted. They're affordable, like people can easily afford, for those who have the means. Government to integrate safe cycling infrastructure on all roads, so that the cyclists are safe. When you go to congested cities, it's very hard to cycle. So those are and also government to help us to create awareness, to emphasize, to put their administrative government weight behind that, to change the attitude of the people, to let them, hey, our environment is vulnerable. We as government alone, we cannot do it, but collectively as the population, we will give you leadership that is aligned with protecting our environmental resources. We're able to achieve it together.
And so how can people find these, how can people find these bikes, or how can they get them? How can they get access to them actually to try out?
Yeah, we are located, we are in Kampala. We have assembly line where we are training people, boys and girls, in e-mobility mechanics. We are located on Old Port Bed Road, plot 9, after Meat Packers. You'll see a building branded EB, like this.
Oh,
yeah, oh, like that. So just come and knock in. If you want to try, it's free of charge. If you want to ask me more questions, it's free of charge. And reach out also to Athari. This content is going to be out there. I hope they can put my number up there. Feel free to reach out to me. And let's take collective action to mitigate environmental crises, to clean up our air by adopting means that enable us to protect our environmental resources in a sustainable way.
All right, thank you so much, Hakim, and thanks together with your team for doing your bit. This is very lovely, and hopefully I'll get a bike of my own when I can afford.
Thank you very much, Viola.
It's friendly. The prices are friendly.
No,
so thank you so much
for
thank you
very
time.
Much. Thank you very much.
That is Hakim. He's from EB. They are making very, very environment-friendly bikes. And these bikes are really affordable, and you might find yourself very addicted to one of them once you get them. No carbon emissions, nothing, just you doing your bit in order to protect the environment. That's what we are here for today in KAKUMIRO at the district headquarters, where the Prime Minister is the guest of honor, and we've been lucky. She actually came to visit us here in our store, and she saw these bikes as well. So we really hope that we are moving forward. When it comes to the policies Hakim spoke of, hopefully the government can adopt and make it easier for us to have such products on the market. You're still watching us, and we are out here. We're not going anywhere. We have more content coming your way. Do stay with us. I am Viola Sasera.
Thank you very much.
Lack of proper health care, lack of PPE, protective gear. They work in a very dirty environment. So we are seeking for their recognition. Let them be recognized because they're doing a great job. So we did a documentary about that. We also have a documentary called The Mother Story, where you featured Mama. So we are asking that why is it that we have people die of landslides every year, despite government intervention and also with the support of civil society organizations like Give directly. But we still have people dying of landslides. We went up to the mountain and we just went there. Okay, thank you so much.
Chairman, Principal, KAKUMIRO District, Commissioner, we shall have a speech from the Minister of State for Health in charge of private health care. We shall have a speech from the Minister of State for Transport, Honorable Yankama. Then we will invite the Chief Guest.
Nalaba nga sirina ngeri eno ey'okulya nindaba abantu nga balonda bucupa nange nintandika obironda.
Azuka saa 12 n'agenda
Wano watu watonya nteeka wano baafu eba etonya kiro.
Actually, fighting plastic is a solution that's going to prevent a generation curse to us. It's a menace.
So those young men may be doing something, but in the long run what they are doing is they are cleaning up or they are flushing the toilet for other people.
Sacks plus polythene bag here, we buy them.
Nalaba nga sirina ngeri eno ey'okulya nindaba abantu nga balonda bucupa nange nintandika obironda.
And today I decided to pass by the Central Business District where I have found Joel Kosate. He's a 7-year-old boy. By the look on his face, he really looks so sick. And when I was speaking to most of his friends, they say that he's been sick for the last 5 days with no any sign of getting treatment anytime soon. Joel,
Due to their low cost, plastic bottles have gradually replaced glass bottles for so many years. Surprisingly, the modern society has grown accustomed to them. But the manner in which this monster is disposed of in so many parts of this country is generating an environmental disaster. The good news is that thousands of climate activists across the world have raised their voices against the use of plastic bottles. A good number of decent people have also added value to plastic bottles, and millions of them have been recycled. But somewhere in the middle, there is an invisible climate activist. Athari Media Support Africa puts a focus on these invisible climate activists that can be seen on the streets, highways, and slum areas carrying sacks on their backs. Many refer to them as crazy because of their filthy dress code. Most of them come from slums where they were born and raised in impoverished environments with no access to schooling. They get money by collecting discarded plastics for recycling companies. They are not even recognized globally as environmental and climate campaigners, rendering them in some ways invisible.
Imagine the invisible climate activists climb this hill every day to survive. Oh my God, it's interesting.
This is Prosi Magala, a 45-year-old widow, mother of 4, and the resident of Nantabulirirwa, Mukono district. She's an invisible climate activist that collects plastic bottles and polythene bags for survival.
Nalabanga sirina ngeri eno ey'okulya nendaba abantu nga balonda bucupa nange nentandika obironda fune ekyokulya.
Nazuukuka saa 12 n'agenda era 12 mali wano banazo era n'akomawo n'ateeka hansi ebintu byonna nga nentandika obisumulula nga mbisunsula nga njyamu ecupa nzisa ebbali nga n'obuveera obwo nga muteeka mu kutiya.
She tears every time she considers how, as a single mother, she will be unable to pay her children's education because the father of her children died.
Yafa accident. Omuntu teyatulaga nti no wano we musigadde tusigala mu nzigo. Nkutandika nti ntandika ebintu eby'amacupa nali mmanyi nti no nyinza ofuna ku ssente. Soloze nfune ssente naye ate kusomesa abaana tekukkiriza muntu kubeera na ssente mu nnyumba.
Ate njagala kwokya enzigi.
Prosi Magala, the lone female out of 8 boys from Kangulumira, Kayunga district. She claims that her horrible life began with her father's death. Her brother sold all the ancestral land in order to begin a new life.
Taata affe yafa, abaana ne batundatunda ebibanja. Kati nange singa nfuna muziyasa nange nefunako awantu nsobola okubaleka. Tinaafuna wadde wantu watini wati nemba nga awo wenabeera nga maka gange gwe naabalekamu. Tibiremye.
Hundreds of unprivileged women and girls are invisible climate activists. And it goes without us saying that their living conditions are not perfect.
And today I decided to pass by the Central Business District, where I have found Joel Kosate. He's a 7-year-old boy, and by the look on his face, he really looks so sick. And when I was speaking to most of his friends, they say that he's been sick for the last 5 days, with no any sign of getting treatment anytime soon. Joel,
We asked Prosi if she's aware that her kind of a job contributes to environmental conservation. She could hardly respond. Two distinct authorities, KCCA and NEMA, as well as other stakeholders, are in charge of waste management. I asked what they think of the invisible climate activists.
There are countries, for example, that are ahead, that have associations of pickers, that have recognized bodies of pickers or informal managers of plastics. But in Uganda, that step is yet to be made. They are yet to be brought into the formal fold, into the formal framework of managing plastics, for example, through some sort of association, by having a standard fee that they are paid, by bringing them onto the table and hear their views and thoughts.
So yes, those young men may be doing something, but in sense like what they are doing for no other reason, I recognize them for that. But in the long run, what they are doing is they are cleaning up, or they are flushing the toilet for other people. What we need to do is let people realize that they need to flush after themselves. So yes, they are keeping the environment clean, but what happens when they are not clean? How is the sustainability aspect for those people? So yes, as much as they are doing that, we encourage them to also let people know that they are supposed to clean up after themselves.
I asked Prosi how she feels about the rain.
Gava malungi kubanga era oba ofunirawo ngeri ky'onaakwata mu macupa naye era okwata bulungi kubanga amazzi gayinza okutwala.
But when it rains in the middle of the night, the mood is different.
Wano watu watonya nteka wano bafu eba etonya kiro abaana ne mbasindika eno nze ne ntula nga bwekya ne ndyoka neebaka.
Prosi lost her spouse in a border accident and was buried in a cemetery. She wonders why she was never introduced to any of his family members throughout all the years. Seeing the sun rise and set every day and night, she wishes her children's father was alive. Probably she could have survived the scorching heat of the sun. She thinks about the sacrifice she has made, the pain she's experiencing as a single mother, the guilt and shame. Unfortunately, he's not around. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, recycling plastic bottles saves around 3.8 barrels of crude oil for every ton that is recycled. These findings are supported by Waswa Nelson, the Executive Director, Sodzo Foundation, and an environmental activist.
Actually, fighting plastic is a solution that's going to prevent a generation curse to us. It's a menace. Plastics are a menace to us because they possess several dangers and advantages. One, they lead to biodiversity loss. They lead to pollution. They accelerate climate change as these increasing temperatures make plastics shed of chemicals which eventually go into the water we drink, the soil we use to grow our plants.
Recycling plastic bottles contributes to protecting oil and other natural resources as well as the environment. This natural resource is non-renewable and only comes in small quantities. Many Ugandans, including children, women and men, depend on the recycling industry for their daily life. Rashida Nakabuga, Country Director of Rainforest Alliance, says plastic waste affects every farmer in different regions of the country.
And one of the challenges that we are facing is waste management in the communities. And as you know that there are no readily available waste management centers, and some of our companies are also struggling where to dispose of such. So if such young people come in with an innovation or an initiative to ensure that they get the waste and recycle it, so we would also see that they will be attracted to the agriculture sector.
Climate crisis, we're in a world where we need solutions right now. That's true. So if someone else is collecting plastics and another is planting trees, farmers are carrying out sustainable agriculture. So we cannot actually ignore all the small actions because that is what we need right now. And I say we cannot really ignore their act.
When it's time for Prosi to make some money, she begins by sorting the clean bottles and polythene bags, properly packs them. She then calls a boda man who takes them to a customer. Weighs them, and she's paid 300 shillings per kilogram, approximately 8 cents in dollars.
I may tell you a kilo, then you weigh, because a kilo is about 500. So that means a quarter is at 250. No, it is 500 Uganda shillings. Yeah.
Samanya Muhammad, the owner of this business, claims that his contribution towards environmental protection is that he has employed over 50 other invisible climate activists.
We tell people to bring bottles, sacks plus polythene bag here. We buy them. Even though you bring 10 bottles, we buy. You bring 5, we buy. So it's according to how much you have brought for us.
Statistics from the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, show that plastic waste takes the lion's share out of the 600 tons of garbage generated on a daily. Only 40% is collected and disposed of properly. The 2022 report from KCCA shows 180 tons of garbage is generated every day. Only 40 to 50% is collected and disposed of properly. The rest finds its ways in our environments and in the water bodies.
And in facilities, and spend big numbers of flooded facilities with people who are diseased, it is because we have forgotten our personal responsibility, that it is our responsibility. And I like these children. From morning they've been sending us messages. Thank you, children. And I think these children, if these messages get to them, not just to entertain us here, but if these messages sink in so that it begins with these young people, maybe our age it is too late. The mindset is really, really skewed to being dirty and negligent and government to yambe. But I think if we focus, Ministry of Education, we are here that you are here. We want to see the curriculum that instill discipline, instill behavior, instill mindset change. That these children will be the one to go home and tell their parents and insist that hygiene in the homes, they have toilets, they don't have flies all over the place. They make sure that they help those parents that are negligent. If we focus on these children, we will save actually the future generation. If we focus on educating these from nursery, they know that you go to the toilet, you wash hands. They will insist. They will help the parents who do not care about bushes around their homes to remind them that ebizizi tebina kubeera wano mu maka gaffe. Mami, katu cleaning, because the mindset has been tuned to start thinking health. Because we have to talk about development. Why are we linking development with wash? Development comes when you are not. Why do you not sleep in mosquito net, yet we have provided the nets in your home? We have come right in your home and given you nets. Why are you still getting malaria? Why have you abdicated the duties to government? We are here to talk about development because when government spends so much money treating the sick population, we will not be able to save money to build factories to give people jobs. If we spend more money to treat the children who are stunted, who are having chronic diarrhea, and they are stunted and they are not able to grasp things, and they fail exams, when you have the whole generation that is stunted and failing exams and not children that are that we are proud of, then that's not development. If we are talking about PDM, it must be linked. It must be linked with a healthy population. If you are talking about income, household income, we must talk about healthy population. And health population begins with individuals. Teenage pregnancy, I'm sorry I'm diverting a little bit from sanitation, but this has to do with development. We are here, everything is about well-being, the population well-being, the population satisfaction, even in their homes, in their jobs, in their country, then we must get to the ground. We must deal with, how can Kakumiro have very low coverage of latrines and we are here and we call ourselves leaders? How? What has gone wrong? Why can't we do that? The health educators, we have revised the terms of employment and the targets and what you need to do. You must get out of your comfort zone. Inspect.
What you see right
we have now
behind me,
the new law.
it's not a mountain of rocks. It's a heap of garbage that has been collected here for decades and decades of years. The most interesting thing to watch here is that you can hardly spot on any bit of a plastic bottle in this place. So walk with me. Now, my friend Brian, you have to advise me. Are we taking the right route? I don't know. Aren't we lost?
No, we are not lost. It's past there. Like that.
But Brian, you look at the other side. See, all of those are plastics that have been collected from here. All of them are from your houses, from the shops, from the supermarket. They're really doing an amazing job. Most of these things come from our homes. Like this. This bottle was bought by somebody. Somebody drank this soda. And finally, they've ended up here. All of them. They would be very dangerous to our society. All what you see right here is a danger to society. But the invisible climate activists have made it very easy to collect them from our societies to this place. They will be recycled and then taken back for use. now we're in HTC, which is commonly known as a dumping place for all the garbage that comes from Kampala and neighboring areas. What you see right behind me, it's not a mountain of rocks. It's a heap of garbage that has been collected here for decades and decades of years. The most interesting thing to watch here is that you can hardly spot on any bit of a plastic bottle in this place. So walk with me. Now, my friend Brian, you have to advise me. Are we taking the right route? I don't know. Aren't we lost?
No,
Yeah.
we are not lost. It's past there. Like that.
But Brian, you
And
look at the other side. See, all of those are plastics that have been collected from here. All of them are from your houses, from the shops, from the supermarket. Now, this is the last tip. Getting there may not be easy, but we have to go. Here we are. Here we are. Finally, we are at the top of Chitezi, which is a dumping site for most of the garbage that comes from Kampala and the neighboring areas. This is what happens every time a truck comes with the garbage. And they are all fighting for the plastic that have come along with the truck, including all the polythene bags.